And I felt like I have a lot of experience, in my life to be 24. It's things I have not yet talked about because I want to save it for a bigger moment, a time in my career. And people around me, their experiences, I feel like, that's the vulnerability that I love. That's the vulnerability that Pac, that Biggie gave, Jay-Z as well. And these is mega artists, So you take your own personal experiences, the experiences around you, and people are going to understand you a lot more than just being a rapper. They're going to understand you more as a person and as a pure artist. And that's where the word like and love separates. You can like a lot of artists, but you're not going to love many.
I love when artists grit their teeth.
You created this massive cultural award-winning anthem out of a battle rap song.
My intent from day one was to always keep the nature of it as a sport. I think a lot of people was putting rap to the back and you didn't see that grit, you didn't see that bite anymore.
It's not enough.
Do you have a favorite way to stay healthy and active?
Yeah, maybe some push-ups.
Top say drop, you better drop and give them 50.
That's more. Not like us. Kendrick Lamar. I'ma do my stuff.
Taylor Swift. You ended up on Bad Blood.
Well, we both was in LA, so I came to her studio session. She had the music up and started writing and jumped in the booth and we laid it down. With this particular record, it was just me just vibing and catching her lyrics. I didn't want to get into her head too crazy. We was really locked in on the chemistry and we really felt what was going on when I was in the booth.
Did you think that would be as big a hit as it was?
The thing was, it had these drums I never heard on. I knew it crossed worlds, but it didn't do it the right way.
Because, over the summer, we went to a lot of your shows. We were on a lot of shows with you. And there was so many different types of people in there. You know what I mean? There was white people, Asian people, and they knew the lyrics to your song. Did that ever surprise you? Like, damn, it's just not niggas following me.
Yeah, definitely it surprised me. You know what I'm saying? When you come from any part of the ghetto, I've been to Compton my whole life. I just started traveling to be 100 with you. So it's nothing else outside of that. When I say we didn't have a Caucasian kid from elementary, middle school to high school, I never seen one. I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? So when I go outside of the city and go across the world and that same kid is singing my records, identifying with my lifestyle and my partner's lifestyle, that drive me for a whole loop. It made me realize everything that I was taught was almost backwards.
Right, meaning like what?
Backwards to the point where I didn't get the proper knowledge on my potential that I should have gotten.
Kendrick, to me, is the most electrifying vocalist of this generation. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Kendrick is at the very top tier of lyricists, not just this generation, but of all time.
Nobody expected Drake to still be talking about Kendrick Lamar this heavily in 2026. That's the part catching everybody off guard right now. Because after everything that happened in 2024, after the diss tracks, the Grammys, the Super Bowl performance, the internet humiliation, and the endless memes, people thought the battle was finished. Done. Over. But then Drake dropped Iceman. Actually, not just Iceman, 3 different albums, 40+ songs, a giant rollout, live streams, Toronto lit up like a movie set. And somehow, even after all that, the biggest topic coming out of the release still wasn't Drake's music. It was Kendrick, again. And that's where this whole thing starts getting interesting. Because Kendrick hasn't responded. Not one post, not one interview, not even a sneak diss, nothing. And somehow, that silence is making Drake's album hit even harder. Or maybe making it hit worse. Depends who you ask. Because the longer Kendrick says nothing, the more people start wondering if Drake is fighting a battle that already ended. And honestly, that might be exactly what's happening. To really understand why Iceman has the culture split right now, you have to go back before the actual beef exploded. Way before Not Like Us. Way before Euphoria. Back when Drake and Kendrick weren't enemies at all. People forget this now, but there was a time when these two genuinely respected each other. In 2011, Kendrick appeared on Drake's Take Care album. Not as some random feature either. Drake gave Kendrick an entire solo interlude. That mattered. Because at the time, Drake was already becoming one of the biggest artists on earth. Kendrick was still building his name nationally. That placement basically told the industry, pay attention to this guy. For a while, everything looked cool between them, competitive maybe, but still respectful. Then came the verse that changed hip-hop forever, Control, 2013. Kendrick calling out every major rapper by name, including Drake. At first, fans treated it like healthy competition. But if you look back now, that moment feels like the real beginning of everything. Because Drake never fully let it go. You could hear it in interviews, in subliminal, in little shots hidden inside records. The tension stayed there for years, quiet, but building. Then came 2023, and this is where things completely spiraled. Cole dropped first-person shooter with Drake and mentioned the big three. Himself, Drake, Kendrick, three giants sharing the same throne. That line should have been harmless. Instead, it triggered one of the most destructive rap wars ever, because Kendrick heard that and basically rejected the entire idea. Mother the big three. It's just big me. That line changed everything instantly. Once Kendrick jumped on, like that, the energy shifted immediately. It didn't feel playful anymore, it felt personal. And people still didn't realize how serious Kendrick actually was. Most fans expected a normal rap battle, a few diss tracks, some interviews, maybe a temporary internet war. Nobody expected Kendrick to completely hijack the culture the way he did. Then Drake fired back. Push-ups, tailor-made freestyle, shots everywhere. But that second track created a massive problem immediately. Using AI-generated voices of Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg against Kendrick was a risky move, and the backlash came fast. Especially because Kendrick's connection to Tupac's legacy runs deep in West Coast culture. The internet turned on Drake almost instantly for that one. But honestly, that was only the beginning of the damage, because once Kendrick finally responded, the entire battle changed tone overnight. Euphoria didn't sound like a normal diss track. It sounded surgical, calculated, like Kendrick had been waiting years to unload everything he really thought about Drake. Then came 616 in LA. Then Drake responded with Family Matters. And for a few hours, people actually thought Drake might have taken control again. Until Kendrick dropped Meet the Grahams almost immediately after. That moment shocked everybody. Not just because Kendrick responded quickly, because it felt pre-planned. Like he already knew exactly what Drake was going to say before the song even dropped. And from there, the entire situation became chaos. Because then came Not Like Us, the song that basically escaped hip-hop completely and became a global moment. That's what made this beef different from every other rap battle. Usually, diss tracks stay inside rap culture. Not Like Us went beyond that. Sports arenas, clubs, TikTok, festivals. People who didn't even follow rap knew the lyrics. And once the song became unavoidable, Drake's image started changing publicly in real time. That's the part people underestimate. This wasn't just about bars anymore. It became perception, memes, narratives, humiliation at scale. Then Kendrick performed the song multiple times at the Pop-Out concert in Los Angeles. And after that, it felt over. But Kendrick still wasn't finished. Because in 2025, the situation somehow became even bigger. Not Like Us, winning Grammys was already wild enough, but seeing a diss track dominate major award categories? That changed the conversation permanently. Then Kendrick performed it at the Super Bowl. That moment felt unreal. One of the biggest audiences in entertainment history watching Drake's biggest diss record echo through a stadium. At that point, the culture basically decided Kendrick won. And Drake knew it. That's what makes Iceman so fascinating now. Because the album doesn't sound like somebody who moved on. It sounds like somebody still trying to rewrite history. And throughout the project, Drake keeps circling back to Kendrick over and over again. The streaming accusations, the bot claims, the conscious rapper image, the West Coast politics, the owl symbolism, the lawsuits, it's everywhere. Even when Drake isn't directly saying Kendrick's name, you can feel him talking to him. And that's why the internet instantly became divided after the album dropped. Because musically, a lot of people actually think Drake rapped extremely well on Iceman. Sharper bars, more focused delivery, more hunger than he's shown in years. Even critics admitted he sounded motivated again. But the problem isn't the rapping. The problem is the timing. Because every Kendrick reference reminds listeners of the battle Drake already lost publicly. That's the trap. Every shot at Kendrick accidentally reopens old wounds people already associate with Drake losing. And the silence from Kendrick makes it even worse. Because while Drake is dropping bars across multiple albums, Kendrick is just gone. touring, working, living, not reacting publicly at all. That silence created a completely different narrative online. People started saying Kendrick already won so badly that he doesn't even need to respond anymore. And whether you agree or not, that idea is spreading fast, especially after all the weird internet moments surrounding Iceman's release. At one point, Kendrick's videos briefly disappeared from YouTube. Immediately, people started creating theories. Then fake rumors spread about Kendrick dropping a surprise counter-album called Fireman. And the craziest part? The fake rumor generated almost as much hype as Drake's actual rollout. That tells you how badly people are waiting for Kendrick to speak. But it also reveals something deeper. Kendrick's absence has become more powerful than most artists' actual presence. And that's a dangerous position for Drake to be in. Because now the culture is analyzing every single thing through Kendrick's silence. Even Drake's strongest bars start sounding different once people frame them as somebody still emotionally stuck in the beef. That's why this moment feels so strange. Technically, Drake returned successfully. Huge numbers, massive attention, internet domination. But emotionally, the conversation still keeps coming back to Kendrick. And that might be exactly what Kendrick wanted all along. Because think about it. If Kendrick responds now, he risks reopening a battle he already won in the public eye. But if he stays silent, then Drake keeps talking into a void. And every week that passes without a Kendrick response makes Drake's obsession feel more noticeable. That's why people are calling Kendrick's silence strategic. Not weakness, not fear, strategy. A way of saying, I already said everything I needed to say. And honestly, Drake might have accidentally helped Kendrick's legacy even more with Iceman. Because instead of shifting the conversation away from the beef, he brought the entire culture back to it. Now fans are replaying Euphoria, rewatching the Super Bowl performance, revisiting old Kendrick bars, reanalyzing Not Like Us again. Even people praising Drake's new music still end up talking about Kendrick. That's the crazy part. The battle still belongs to Kendrick culturally, even during Drake's own rollout. And that's probably the hardest thing for Drake to escape right now. Because rap beef isn't only about music. It's about narrative control, and once the public decides somebody won, changing that narrative becomes almost impossible, especially when the other person refuses to engage anymore. That silence becomes suffocating, like arguing with somebody who already walked away from the conversation. And if we're being honest, that might be why Iceman feels so tense underneath the surface. The bars sound sharp, but there's frustration there too. Like Drake is still trying to prove something, still trying to reclaim control of a story that slipped away from him in 2024. And whether people admit it or not, the album almost feels like a response to Kendrick more than a fresh new Drake era. Which is wild considering how massive the rollout was supposed to be. So now the entire rap world is sitting around asking the same question. Does Kendrick eventually respond, or does he keep doing exactly what he's doing now? Staying silent while the internet tears itself apart trying to predict his next move. Because the longer this silence continues, the louder it gets. And that might end up being Kendrick's biggest move of all. But what do y'all think? Did Drake actually help himself with Iceman? Or did he accidentally remind everybody why Kendrick took control of the culture in the first place? And if Kendrick does respond eventually, can he really top what already happened in 2024? Drop your thoughts below. And if you want more deep dives into the stories shaping hip-hop right now, hit subscribe because this situation is nowhere near finished yet.